Okay, going live, and you are live. What's going on, everybody? RogersBase here with my live reaction to One Piece manga chapter 1112. This one is called Hard Aspects. Literally just dropped on Viz. I know it was on Manga Plus a couple minutes ago, but I just wanted to wait for the Viz thing because there's double page spreads. It's been a month. I've missed you guys, so let's jump right into this. All right. Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 3. You can have that parting gift, Yamato, as long as you do something for me. Okay, well, Kinemon is still alive, so let us continue. Here we go, into the good stuff. All pacifistas MK3 are neutralized. Increase bombardment. Make sure Emperor Straw Hat Luffy doesn't escape. And whatever you do, stop Jewelry Bonnie from leaving. You got PX laying on the ground with the smoke. Only 12 years old, and you gave this mere girl enough power to level an entire country? What a foolish rebellion to stage against us, Vegapunk. I love this shot of Venus Juro right here, pulling his sword out of his chest in his skeleton horse form. Love to see it. And you got the other giant saying, let's get back to the ship now. There are some deadly foes on this island. You can see the explosions coming from the ships. Explosions on Egghead Island. Fire everywhere. Don't let them take off now. Sink the Elbaf ship and hurry to the northeast shore. Move it. Okay. Oh, Frankie against Mr. 12 Chins? You'll go nowhere. Steam strong right. Boom. I need to see this in the anime where all his chins go boop, 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 boop. That's what I gotta see. And you even see, what's his name again? Red King or whatever. And you see his head flying backwards, his neck stretched out, and it just says, as he's getting pummeled to the ground. Take my daddy to safety, Mr. Giant. You bet. Prepare to die. You'll never have that weapon of war, Jewelry Bonnie, you little snot. And you can see them going off. The Marines saying no. And don't call him a weapon. My dad is a hero, Chin Man. Kicking him down. Stop it. This just looks wrong. You can see the little kid version of him getting kicked away. I'm so weak now. I love, too, the panel where she actually touches him and de-ages him before she kicks him is genuinely brutal. And he's crying in his little kid form. Let's go, Bonnie. I like seeing Bonnie and Frankie putting in the work. That's great. All right. Labo phase. I can't help but notice you're not drinking your Vega coffee. Well, it's hot, and I have a very sensitive tongue. Speaking of which, I got my coffee over here. I'll take one of these. That's mean, Shaka. You already knew that. 4 more minutes, Stella. This is clearly the same room. They must have recorded the message here, but you got the Itsumade-looking Gorosei and York over here. Wait, stop. Don't just go crazy. Stella, there's not much time left. And he says, see, the message is still going. I got to blow up everything. Why not use thermoelectric elements to take the coffee's heat and convert it? If I were the Stella, I would hide the transmission transponder snail emitting the message somewhere. Then I will simply destroy the entire lab. But you can't. The second floor of Building B is for weapon development. The first floor is the power plant. Third floor of Building C has our entire supply of pressurized gas cylinders. And if you destroy any one of them, it's going to set off a chain reaction throughout the lab that will blow up Punk Records itself. Then think of where it is. Your neural pathway should be the same as his. Itsumade is ready to go. I'll stop it, of course. I mean, if I add crime upon crime, it'll only make it harder to get along with you folks. And even, he's still like, what, you think we're going to work with you? Are you serious? You get the little ... question mark, exclamation point. I sense it. I sense the voice of a small creature in Punk Records. Is it a transponder snail? The transmission transponder snail was recently just completed. You can recognize it by its triangular spiral shell. Well, then tell me how to get in. Dude, he is not playing games. He is all business, and I like to see it. This Gorosei is not messing around. He said, I came in with one duty to find this transponder snail. We're going to find it. I'll blow the whole damn thing up if you need me to. Doesn't matter. I'm going to find this thing. Meanwhile, next page, we're finally seeing Stussy again after what's been like 20 or something chapters. Lovely to see this. Well, aren't you lucky? It seems it wasn't interested in you. And Kaku's waking up too. What was that monster? Based on the conversation, one of the 5 elders. What? You think so? Well, what a ghastly transformation. They abandoned you too, didn't they, Stussy? How sad and ironic. After you chose to betray us. And she's like, staying behind was my idea. Because someone has to carry out the final job, after all. I don't like the sound of that. I don't like the death flags waving for Stussy. I don't like that Oda hasn't shown us Stussy in a while, because that probably means he wanted us to get a little detached when she finally suicides. I don't want it. Please, no. Please don't blow yourself up, Stussy. Please. Please be okay. I love Stussy. I don't want Stussy to get hurt. I don't want the only version of Stussy to exist in this world to be Miss Bucking. I don't want it. Please, Stussy, take care of yourself. All right, wait, you mean to tell me that we're leaving Stussy behind? Well, what other option do we have? Undoing the barrier's got to happen at the same moment that the ship escapes. The only way to lower... So this is full on like a Bon Clay situation then. She's got to stay behind to lower it. The only way to lower the Frontier Dome is at the command room. Excuse me. And she volunteered to do it. If you want to do right by her sacrifice, then you better make sure the escape's a success, right? Well, of course we're going to do everything we can to escape, but still, the problem is the distance that the Vega Force 1 would have flown us. Exactly right, Robin. I've calculated it up, and by going by classical mechanics, the ship is guaranteed to land on solid ground now, and you can see it hover on the cloud. What? Folks, the coup-de burst is ready to rock. Once Zoro's group gets here, we're going to make a super jump out to sea. And if it looks like we're not going to make it, that's your cue to help us out. You got that? You got little Edison down there going like, well, it must be hard to be your ship, huh? But I love the guts you got. Wherever miracles occur, that's the power behind them. And that's coming from a scientist. Edison, what? He's leaping off? I'll make sure your ship touches down in the water. Trust me. Simulated external damage, 78%. And they're all screaming for Edison, but he's saying, it's not going to kill me. So here goes. I don't even know what I'm looking at on this double page spread. I just looked over here. I got this massive blob in the middle. What the heck am I looking at? There's an, oh, that's the sandworm. There's an inward wind pulling us towards the island. Oh yeah, okay, so the sandworm is sucking everything in. The suction is enormous, and we're not getting anywhere. You can see Luffy struggling and Dory and Broggy struggling. That's it. If you're that hungry, then have a building, Mr. Sandworm. And he kicks the building down, shoving it in his mouth. You can see just Urgle Burgle. All these Gorosei are making the weirdest noises during this chapter. You're getting Bleck and Urgle Burgle and Blick Blick. All right, here we go. Slamming down into the sandworm's mouth, feeding that dude. Now I'm finally understand what I'm looking at this thing. It was basically the back of his head being pushed out by the top of the castle. Okay, very horrifying looking shot of the sandworm there. Really well drawn, though, I gotta say. I also really do love that panel of Luffy struggling with his giant teeth and his like super skinny muscular form holding everything back. All right. That was fun. But now I'm tired. What is this? What happened, Straw Hat? You've turned into some strange old man. Well, I ran out of food power. Food? Well, how about some Hakarl? What is that? It's fermented shark. Emergency rations from Elbath. Tastes good when you're used to it. Okay, well, he's... Okay, back to normal. So all Luffy needs then, if Luffy wants to get over his Gear 5, what's it called? Like where he's tired from Gear 5, just have Dory and Broggy give him a bunch of fermented shark and we'll be good to go. Give him a whole supply a little bit later and he can just munch on it like beef jerky, basically. I feel energized again. The way your body works is so simple, huh? You're already back to the old you and you can see he's even beefier than he was before. Now look out, Boar. Gear 3... Gum Gum Red Rock. Okay. So he's not even back in Gear 5 again. He's just wailing on this thing in Gear 3. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily doing some damage. It's slamming his head down. And Red Rock is obviously a big technique, but okay. Okay, Luffy, here we go. Yeah, Gear 3. Oh no. Meanwhile, here we go. So he does need to go Gear 5 again then. You can see his poor hand all burning up. Saying, how hard is that thing? And you just see the giant bull Gorosei growling. All right. Rear side Labo phase. Stop. What is that? What is that? Something's coming? A crab? Northeast shore. Oh no, Mr. Giant. Oh, ooh. Great shot there of Venus Juro, all shadowed out with the bloody sword after taking down the other pacifistas. Who is that? So Venus Juro versus Bonnie and Atlas and Frankie. And then Usopp and Chopper and Nami versus the Crab. Punk Records Labo phase. 1 minute left, Stella. I know. And he's slurping on his coffee. Here it is. Oh, and you can see the little SSG shell on the back of the little transponder snail. Here it is. Fortune was not on your side, Vegapunk. And you just get glub, blub, blub. Blub, blub, blub. What the heck is this? To be continued. What? Is there like a giant monster that's going to eat him on top? What is that? To be continued. Okay. One Piece 1112 end. What is that last panel? Is that his stomach? Is that the snail? Is that something shadowed out on the ceiling? Like, what is that? Glub, blub, blub. I also find it interesting. We have not seen more of the giant robot. We obviously saw the giant robot moving during the last chapter. Didn't see more of that. Okay, so Saturn is going towards Nami, Usopp, and Chopper. Venus Juro's by Bonnie, Frankie, and Atlas. Okay, Luffy's obviously still dealing with the heat off the back of the bull one. Okay, and then the sandworm. Man, oh man, oh man. A lot of fighting during this chapter. And then meanwhile, Itsumade is working with York to basically break in and shut down the transponder snail, and Stussy's going to stay behind. I did love that panel, though, on page 4, page 5 with Frankie slamming down on Red King. That was probably my favorite action panel of the chapter. That was a really good one. As cool as the Sandworm double page spread was, I feel like it was a little confusing to figure out what was going on as your eyes just sort of glanced at it. Whereas the Frankie one, when he's punching down, I think looked really good. Yeah, well, cool. Okay. So we're actually going to get movement next chapter then. That's pretty cool. We're down to 1 minute on the timer. We blew through that, no problem. We're seeing more of the Gorosei. He's found the transponder snail. It doesn't really look like a triangle shell, though. She said the shell is like a triangle. That looks more like a helmet or something. The only other thing that I'm thinking is if it's in Punk Records, because you could see the little coming off the top of the Punk Records giant screen on the top. If he's inside Punk Records, I'm assuming maybe that's like Vegapunk's brain or something making that sound. Like the weird glub glub sounds, as I'm wondering if maybe Vegapunk's brain is up there. But also, like, he can't just stop this transponder snail. If he's going to go up and, like, crush the transponder snail next chapter or something, I can't imagine it's going to be that easy. Like, we didn't go all this time for this message to go out to the world only to not get what the message is. So I feel like we're going to have to see the resolution of this next chapter. I don't think Oda can really wait in the same way he waited with the timer and the same way that he waited with, what's it called? Like the robot, in the same way he waited with like revealing the Void Sentry stuff. I feel like this has to be reveal next chapter. We got to get something. Most likely the resolution of what's going on with the Gorosei in Punk Records. Because I feel like all these fights are really cool, but I also feel like there's no way in which we could take down all of the Gorosei during this. Like, they're all just trying to make their escape. Even Usopp said it during earlier this chapter. He's like, we got to make our way out of here. Time waits for no one. We got to go. Edison jumped off and did whatever he ended up doing to buy them a little bit of time. Because he goes, here it goes. It won't kill me. What exactly was he planning? I'm not really sure. Really cool shot of Venus Juro, though. Probably one of the best panels in the chapter of that shadowed out version of him. Very cool. Yeah, man, I'm ready for next week. I'm happy there's no break. I'm excited to see what gets revealed next week. I feel like there were some cool action panels in this one for sure, but this was definitely mostly just to continue the story moving forward and get us to our final little story beats. New York explaining all the stuff about the power plant blowing up. That also is not super surprising to me, her breaking all that stuff down. I think that makes a lot of sense that Punk Records would explode after all this is said and done. I feel like Vegapunk's going to send this message off to the world. He's not going to want to leave a trace. Instead, it'll leave off a chain reaction throughout the lab. Yeah, cool. Cool looking art. Funny little panel there with Bonnie as well, like turning the Marine into a kid and then kicking him. Very funny. All right, well, I want to see what James did for the thumbnail. So if you guys give me a second, hold on. Gonna get right out of here. Let me close this out and let's see what he did for the thumbnail. Let me see this. Starred, my drive. Oh, cool. Oh, he went with this. All right, check this out. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Where's my... Wait. What's going on here? Why is it like shadowed out in a weird way? Give me a second, everybody. Hold on. Display, filters. What's going on here? Why is my screen messed it up? That's bizarre. Let me go back again. The filter off. Maybe this will work. That was very odd, wasn't it? Yeah, it's yellow. There we go. There we go. I was like, what was happening there? Why was the whole thing blocked out? All right, cool. Yeah, I'm liking this this shadowed out version of Venus Juro. Very clean. Lots of room for my face to go like this on the thumbnail or something like that. Yeah, James cooked. Looks beautiful. Nice clean shot of the shadow version of him. I mean, he's probably the most hype of all the Gorosei. I would say he's probably the one that I get the most excited to see every time he's doing stuff. Like, even when he was pulling the sword out during this chapter and then, like, slashing it around, and then you see the blood dripping off of it, I thought it looked really cool. Yeah, really, really cool. I am curious how many more chapters there are now based on everything that's been happening. Because I almost wonder if Oda's gonna, like, basically wrap everything up in, like, one chapter that we've seen built up throughout the course of everything, like Stussy sacrifice, because we have a lot of stuff that I feel like could be the highlight of an upcoming chapter. I feel like we've got Stussy sacrificing herself, we've got the robot, we've got the reveal of what Vegapunk's truth about the world is, we've got the actual escape, we've got the defeat potentially of one of the Gorosei, we've got Kuma's final sacrifice. Like, that's at least 6 major things that need to be shown before the end of Egghead. Major things. Like, I can't imagine this is going to wrap up in just 1 or 2 chapters. I feel like he's going to take his time with all of it. As well, he should. Honestly, I feel like Egghead's been a very consistent, very good arc. And even chapters like this one that are just kind of like setting up the story, they're still good, right? Like, I've had very few issues with Egghead overall. I think there've maybe only been like 1 or 2 chapters I didn't really like week to week. But otherwise, I feel like this was a really good one. Solid, you know, moving the plot forward. I don't think it was like a mind-blowing chapter. I don't think it was like a 10 out of 10. But I think it was like a good, let's move the story along kind of chapter. Yeah. Very cool thumbnail, though, by James. Very, very cool. You guys are saying, I think Egghead's going to go to 11:20. I could see that happening. November saying, I feel like we got 3 to 6 chapters left. Well, let's see. If I look on my calendar, next week there's not a break. The week after that'll be Golden Week. That'll take us to 113. Assuming there's no break, which there will be, after the Golden Week break, 114, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Assuming there are no breaks after Golden Week, which again is not going to happen, chapter 1120 would land on June 23rd, which would take us to summer. And I also agree with Rob where I feel like that's probably where the arc is going to end. I feel like around 1120 makes a lot of sense. I don't see it going for that much longer, especially now that we're 1 minute away from Vegapunk's big reveal about the world and that we're, you know, the robot is now activated. I feel like there's a lot of stuff, unless he chooses to really flesh out all the fights with the Gorosei. But again, I feel like we're underpowered for the Gorosei right now. I don't see a situation in which like any of the Gorosei really get defeated here, other than maybe the one that's in the room with the actual transponder snail. I could see something trapping him there that maybe Vegapunk planned for, but he's really the only one. All the other four keep healing themselves and attacking, and so yeah, I'm not really sure. Let me see. We got some super chats. Let me read some of these super chats. Not too many this week, but let me read out what we got. Bryant Brawler re-upped his membership, saying, I think that Stussy actually has the true transponder snail. Oh, that would be cool, that it was actually on her person and them not going towards Stussy is what's going to fall to their demise. I like that idea. Alejandro Solis said Mars is seen S-Dragon, a Kaido Seraphim drinking sake and protecting the snail, or is amazed by how big Vegapunk brain is in jars. Okay. Mars is seeing S-Dragon, a Kaido Seraphim drinking sake. Yeah, I wouldn't put money on that. Let me just say, if you're expecting a Kaido Seraphim, I would not bet on that. If you're a betting man, I would say probably not talking about it. I understand with the glug glug, I get it with the sound, but I don't think that's what that is. I think it's probably something moving inside of like a tank, like in one of those Bacta tanks or whatever, like a brain or another clone or something. But maybe never say never. Who knows? Maybe you're right. Maybe it is S-Dragon. Sure. I wouldn't love that, to be fair. But hey, if you guys think that would be cool, then maybe we'll get that. Hendrix became a member and said, happy to experience One Piece Sundays with you again. Thank you very much. Happy you were here. And all right, we got Keffel donating, saying Usopp versus Saturn is the fight we didn't know we needed. I don't think we're going to get a giant actual Usopp versus Saturn fight. I think there might be like one cool moment there with them, but I think Saturn's going to wipe the floor with Usopp if given the chance. So I feel like, if anything, all these fights with the Gorosei for the majority of these characters, I really feel, again, are just to up the tension and, you know, really push them to escape. So that's my guess. Sam Fisher also super chatted and said, I was all for Stussy joining the Straw Hats. Are they really going to kill her? I hope not. Well, I never thought Stussy was going to join the Straw Hats, but I definitely didn't think she was going to sacrifice herself here on Egghead. I thought for sure she was going to make it out at the very least. But maybe you guys are right. That idea of her maybe having the true transponder snail or something. Yeah. Who knows? Poof is in the chat saying, is Bonnie joining the crew after this, or do you think she's joining the revolutionaries? Oh, I fully believe Bonnie will leave Egghead with them, or will stay behind if Kuma stays behind. And that will be her key with joining the revolutionaries. I feel like, I've said this before, I feel like Bonnie having the command over the Kuma pacifistas is our clue that she is going to command them and bring Kuma back into the revolutionary army, right? Again, that it's like an old Order 66 type thing. So, yeah. But I definitely think Bonnie, more likely than not, will end up with the revolutionaries. But I still think she's going to escape at the end of the day. I don't see a world in which she doesn't escape. Like, I don't see a world in which she gets defeated here. The only thing I'm thinking is that maybe she might want to stay behind to protect her father, and then her father does something. But also, I don't necessarily, like, with where we are in the arc right now, I honestly don't even know if Kuma's going to have a major sacrifice in the way that I was expecting. I don't know. Things have kind of gone off the deep end since the Gorosei were introduced, like physically introduced, where now it's kind of hard to predict what's going to happen, but who knows? If the giant has OG Kuma in his hands during this chapter... Wait, what? Oh, you're thinking the giants are going to escape with OG Kuma. Well, hold on. Let me go back to my manga reaction screen real quick. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, he does. On page 5, where it says, take my daddy to safety, that's right. He does still have him as she's about to kick the Marine. That's right. That's right. So he is. So, Huh. I mean, maybe he escapes to Elbaf with them? I mean, that would be a massive twist, because then Bonnie would obviously leave with her father. But that would be a pretty surprising twist, at least in terms of where we started the arc and where we're ending the arc. If Kuma actually leaves with Bonnie and goes to Elbaf. But also that would be kind of interesting. I would love to see Kuma go to Elbaf and maybe like find out truths about the world from the Library of Ohara stuff. I think would be kind of interesting. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, cool. I didn't even consider that. When she was saying take my dad to safety, I don't know. I should have assumed that, yeah, they're taking him to the ship. But I just assumed they're moving him from this location and that Bonnie was going to catch up with him. But no, you guys are right. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. I'm excited. Heart of Vanilla Ice said, do you think Bonnie can control the Seraphim as well, or at least the Kuma Seraphim? Definitely the Kuma Seraphim. Without a doubt, she's able to control S-Bear. Without a doubt. As for the other ones, I don't think so. I think the other ones, it's still up to like the authority chips. But I definitely feel like anything that has to do with Kuma, she's able to control at this point, I feel like. Yeah, Vegapunk even said, pacifistas with Kuma's face are the ones that she can control. Exactly. Raph's Revenge also, hey, shout out Raph. Hello, welcome back from the Oshinoko stream yesterday. Saying, this might be Oda setting us up to break our hearts for when Kuma eventually goes back to stop Venus and sacrifices himself. I could definitely see that happening, for sure. Yeah, that he stands in against Venus Jiro to save his kid. I could see that happening, for sure. Yeah, overall, I mean, I know this is like a shorter stream than usual, but I don't really know, like, if there's anything else I'm super interested in discussing on this one. I feel like this was a pretty cut and dry chapter. What do you think is going to happen with the Seraphim now? Well, it depends. I mean, again, can go in a bunch of different directions. I feel like you've got the Bear Seraphim pretty much tied to Bonnie. Whereas the other Seraphim, like some of them, I think could potentially be captured by Blackbeard's crew that's there. I could see some of them potentially going with the Marines that are there. I could see some of them maybe being controlled by some of the Gorosei. I'm not really sure. Yeah. I don't really read One Piece, but can I say Nakama? Of course, BC. Of course. How about the lore of Usopp's lies? I think it's on the way now. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? The lore of Usopp's lies. Did Usopp lie about something that you think is going to happen coming up in Egghead? Yeah, I'm not really sure how that'll have to do with a fight with Saturn. Or his confrontation with Saturn. Again, I don't think a fight's actually happening, but... And Reg says, I hope Bluno will show up to save Lucci and Kaku at least. Yeah, we haven't seen Bluno. That'd be kind of funny if he just opens up a door at the end of Egghead and goes, anyway, here you guys go. Come with me. Bye. And then closes the door. Have you watched the indie horror animated web show Murder Drones on YouTube yet? No, and that sounds like something I would hate. So probably not. I hate horror. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I'm not a horror viewer, and I certainly don't want to watch some indie animated horror. So, yeah, my answer is no. What about a Seraphim Vegapunk, maybe? Oh. Like a full-on clone just chilling in a tank? That's maybe got, like, giant DNA or something, and that lands on top of the Gorosei? I mean, that'd be kind of interesting. I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that at all. Seraphim Vegapunk? That'd be interesting. How dare you imply anything bad about Usopp? His lies only tell truth? Right, but what lie are you guys referring to? Like, I understand what you were referring to when you mentioned the lore stuff, but I don't understand, like, what lie do you think he told in regards to what's happening now? I don't have any initial thing that's coming to mind in terms of what's happening in the story right now. I don't know. By the way, Roger, episode 1101 was crazy. I did hear from a lot of people it was really good. It's a little too late for me to upload my live reaction. I'll probably watch on my own. But I was busy yesterday with the Oshido co-stream, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. But yeah, maybe I'll check it out on my own. Yeah. Maybe he'll end up unlocking Conquerors, maybe? Maybe. Maybe, there you go. That's not really a lie, though. Sylvan said, what are you most excited for coming up in Egghead? What am I most excited for? Honestly, just to find out whatever this truth is that Vegapunk's going to tell the world. I feel like I'm now at a point where I'm just letting the arc ride, right? Like whatever ends up happening, that's fine. But I've also really, really lowered my expectations for the end of the arc now. I did that a couple weeks ago, and I feel like I am in a much better place by lowering my expectations. Because I feel like so many things now have been threaded out and teased, and then we just haven't gone anywhere with them, that I'm kind of like, okay, whatever we do end up getting a major reveal, I'll be excited for it. You know what I mean? I feel like the truth about the world, though, is the number one thing. But we've been sitting on that for 2 months at this point. So I feel like, yeah, eventually getting that truth of the world is going to be my number one thing. Because in terms of other things, like if you were to ask me at the beginning of the year what would I most be excited about in terms of Egghead, I would have said whatever Kuma's potential sacrifice is. And I think as we move further and further through the arc, I feel like there's less and less of a chance of the giant sacrifice from the true Kuma that I was expecting. Now I kind of feel like Kuma's probably going to make it out of this alive. I mean, if he's going with the Giants and Bonnie's with him and in command of all the pacifistas, I think he's probably going to make it back to the revolutionaries at this point. Like, I fully expected Kuma would be, like, right after the Gorosei arrive. In my brain, I was assuming that, like, the Gorosei were going to show up, and Kuma was like, we got to get out of here, activate some final thing, teleports everybody off the island, and then we were going to get the truth about the world or the Gorosei killing him or something. That didn't end up happening. We ended up getting confrontations with the Gorosei, full reveals of the Gorosei powers, which again is not a complaint. I'm happy to see it, but it definitely threw my idea of what the end of this arc was going to look like into a tizzy, which is, again, further proves why more and more, like, it's less fun for me to theorize nowadays. I feel like now that we're so close to the ending and so close to, like, finding out all these massive truths about the world, I feel like speculating on what's going to happen, like, next chapter or, like, at the end of the arc is kind of no longer as fun for me. Just because, again, Oda, again, this is not a slight. This is a good thing. Like, Oda is completely throwing my expectations out the window and doing stuff totally different that I was not expecting. The stuff with the Gorosei and the truth about the world. So I feel like I'm here for the ride at this point. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it was way more fun to theorize like 4 or 5 years ago when the end wasn't really clearly in sight. And now that the end's kind of in sight, it's just like, I'm here for the ride, you know? I'm here to let the chapter wash over me. But yeah, my number one thing I'm most excited for the end of Egghead is definitely the reveal of whatever is going on with Vegapunk. Which I'm assuming has to be next chapter now. If we've got 1 minute remaining and there's going to be some other cool revelation, I feel like it's going to be that. Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. There's not really, I mean, to be honest, there's not really anything else in Egghead coming up that I could think of that is, like, super duper exciting. Like, I mean, I would be excited for full-on Gorosei fights, but at the same time, I wouldn't necessarily love if we got, like, full fights here, unless Oda really wanted to wrap up the stuff with the Gorosei in Egghead. But I don't see that happening. I feel like that's gotta be Final War related stuff. I don't see a world in which Oda wraps up the Gorosei before Egghead. I mean, before Elbaf, excuse me. I really don't see that happening. And, like, I'm excited to get to Elbaf, but I'm also, like, I don't want to rush out of Egghead either. We're in a weird situation. Like, I like what's happening in Egghead. I want to know what's going to happen with the Gorosei. I want to know what's going to happen with the remnants of the Marines. I want to see what's going to happen with Blackbeard's crew that's here with Caribou. I want to see the escape with the Straw Hats. I want to see Kuma potentially making a sacrifice. Stussy, same thing. Like, I want to see all this stuff. So I don't really want to rush to Elbaf necessarily. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I also don't want like full Gorosei fights here. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I'm certainly interested in what's going to happen next. Yeah. Elbaf really is very close. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Elbaf is where Shanks is chilling and grilling on Kid's meat. I would love to see Luffy's reaction to him beating Kid. I think Shanks will be gone by the time Luffy gets there, if I'm being honest. I fully expect Shanks will not be there. If Shanks is there, I will be very pleasantly surprised. I don't think he's going to be there. I don't. I think they're going to show up. I think Shanks is already going to have left. We're going to get all the stuff with Elbaf, and then after that, we're going to get stuff with Shanks. But as cool as that would be, I would love if Shanks was heavily involved in Elbaf. But again, I don't really want to set the expectation for myself that that's going to be a thing at this point. Yeah. Yeah. Also, real quick, I want to make a note real quick. Hold on. Give me a second. This just reminded me. I got to reveal something to you guys, which may be of interest for those of you that live in the Chicagoland area. Give me a second. Hold on. Let me pull this up. What about the robot? Yeah, I don't know. The robot's been teased too much. The robot's like the one thing I don't really care about, if I'm being honest. In terms of like big reveals, I don't really care about the robot. The robot is like one of those things that when it was teased initially and he wakes up, I was getting excited for it. And then he just did too many other way cooler things on the in-between from when we saw the robot wake up to when we saw the robot actually move and do something. Like all the stuff with the Gorosei, all the stuff with the pacifistas, there was way too much other good stuff that then like the robot, I don't know. Like I don't really care about it now. Now like when the robot makes a move, the robot makes a move, but I'm not dying to see like what's the robot gonna do. And I don't necessarily think the robot's gonna like take out a Gorosei or, well, maybe it will. I don't know. Who knows? But no, I'm not particularly excited about the robot, if I'm being honest. Anyway, here's what I wanted to show you guys over here. Bada bing, bada boom. I wanted to show you guys this. Come on over here. Boom. If you are in the Chicagoland area this upcoming week, if you are going to C2E2, I will be at C2E2. In fact, I'm going to be hosting the One Piece panel at C2E2. So One Piece, charting Oda's course to Laugh Tale with RogersBase. I put together a giant presentation. We're going to have some giveaways during this. I'm going to be revealing my end of series theories. We're going to be doing a Q&A with people that are going to be there. There's going to be some special guests, which if you have been paying attention to C2E2, I think you can figure out some of those. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff. There's going to be a Guess That One Piece Character segment where you guys are going to be in shorts. So that's going to be a lot of fun, but this is going to be my first time back at C2E2 since this would have been 2019. 2019 is the last time that I was at C2E2. So there you go. I will be there. Now, I don't necessarily know if this is going to be live streamed on the official C2E2 thing. I'm going to try my best to record it, but I don't think there will be a live stream. So I'm going to try my best again to record it for all of you guys. But I don't think there will be. If there is, it will be on the official C2E2 channels. And I'll find out more about it as I, move closer to the panel date. And then I'll retweet stuff and I'll let people know. So if it is available, if there is going to be a live stream available, I'll tweet it out. I'll put it on my YouTube community feed so you guys can see it. But it should be a lot of fun. Yeah, the panel description says, with One Piece having officially entered its final saga, it's time to chart the course to the final island of Laugh Tale and share our predictions for the end of Ichiro Oda's popular manga, One Piece. One Piece YouTuber and Chicago local RogersBase makes his return to C2E2 since the first time since 2020 to discuss all things One Piece, including final arc predictions, his visit to the set of Netflix's live-action One Piece, a massive Q&A where you can share your One Piece theories, live One Piece trivia with a Guess That One Piece Character segment, complete with giveaways and appearances from special guests. Come aboard and bring along all your hopes and dreams. One Piece fans, both old and new, you won't want to miss that. So there you go. We're going to be room S40AB. So there you go. This is like, I think it's on the top floor right by where the big main stage area is, because I think I've had this room before. And 12:45 p.m. to 1:45 p.m. on Friday. So yeah, if you are in Chicago, make sure to check it out. Again, I'm going to try my best to record it and hopefully upload for you guys a little bit later, the panel. But again, I'm not necessarily sure if I will be allowed to or if it's already going to be live streamed. I'll know more moving into next week. But yeah, all right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in today. Greatly appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. And actually stick around, because later today on YouTube, I'm doing a massive live stream with my other fellow One Piece colleague, King Recon. And King Recon and I are going to be doing and sharing our top 50 favorite One Piece video games of all time. It's going to be a lot of, not One Piece, what am I saying? One Piece video games. I meant to say One Piece YouTuber. It's just our general top 50 favorite video games. And King Recon and I are going to be discussing. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a really good stream. That's going to happen, I think, at 3 or 4 p.m. my time. So look forward to that. Thank you, by the way, to Z Shark coming through with the membership. Appreciate that. Thank you all for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, everybody.